Happy holidays, and you're listening to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm Justin, here with Meelz. Day after Christmas. I know that doesn't mean much to both
It's
of
a
us.
tough day. It's a tough day.
I don't know.
Wake.
I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's where I'm at too. I'm tired. It's Tuesday. First of all, it's Tuesday. Like the
Yeah.
worst day to wake up after Christmas is Tuesday. If Christmas is on Sunday, you're getting Monday off for sure.
Yeah.
But Christmas being on Monday and then getting up on Tuesday, oh my god.
I just haven't stopped for the last 4 days. So
What haven't you stopped?
moving. Like I had my friend's birthday party on Friday.
Okay.
Saturday, hung out with Mark, who just moved out here.
Okay.
To lunch. His mom's out here, so we
Wow.
got
Shout out to Mark's mom.
Yeah, she's a great lady. Sunday, Christmas festivities at my my wife's family's house, and then
In-laws, as some would say.
Well, it wasn't like directly my in-laws. It was like everyone. So, but
Okay.
yesterday was directly my in-laws. So we had like the smaller version of Sunday, and yeah, 'cause, like Mexicans, they do Christmas on Christmas
the day before.
Yeah, so like it was that, and then we did the gift exchange between the immediate in-law and us on Christmas Day. So I've been moving every day. So this is like the first day I have where I'm gonna do the show and get out
And
the show
then,
to the patron,
yes,
and then
yes.
I'm tapping out. I'm done.
Absolutely. I have been. I mean, this Christmas hasn't been that crazy for me. I mean, I've just been traveling back and forth. Don't go to the mall anytime.
Why would you do that? I would
I
never.
don't. I don't know. I just wanted to. I needed to grab some things. Lines were super long. The self checkout lines were shorter. Shout out to the self checkout lines. But the problem is most people don't know how to use self checkout, which then prompts someone to be there to help them use the self checkout, which makes the entire experience longer. So, did that. Gifts. Everyone got them. I am currently broadcasting from my new table.
Oh,
Right. I bought this with FanDuel money.
wait, you made that much money off FanDuel? I thought people were just getting like nickel and dime like shit.
I mean, nickel and dimes, if that's what you shooting after, you know what I'm saying?
What your parlays be looking like to make that much?
Actually, I do what we call builders, which is very small risk and put high amount in there, so you just kind of really just make the same amount that you put back in. So,
Okay.
That's me. I'm very conservative with it. Other people are not conservative. Shout out to them. Me, yeah, I'm very conservative.
How about pray for them, because the betting shit in 2023 was just so crazy, because I just woke up one day and everybody was talking about parlays and shit. And
because they legalized it in New York and that was a wrap.
like once LA or New York legalizes something, it's over. Everyone in the country, they're like, all right, I guess it's okay.
Is it over by you guys?
Well,
I don't
betting,
think so. No, it's not. It's not. Y'all voted against it. Damn.
I voted against
tight.
it. Josh.
That's not happening the second time. That's not happening the second time. I know that for sure.
We'll see. Just to spite people.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, listen. How about this? We're at the end of the year, right? End of 2023. Let's talk about a couple things. 2023. How do you feel as music has been in 2023? Because I don't know if it's it's pretty what?
Pretty crappy year for music, all things considered. Like there was very bright spots. Like Victoria Monet was a bright spot. Paramore album was a bright spot. Really, I know there's differing opinions on it every side. I really enjoyed the Drake album. Not gonna lie, it's probably my favorite project of his in years. So
I like the Drake album.
Like I did not get the discourse the day it came out. I feel like people have kind of calmed on the discourse surrounding it and just have settled on it being like actually good. But like I am a fan of it. So like those are like my kind of three that I really liked this year, and then everything else was kind of like, eh.
I feel like we haven't had any like real breakout stars this year. I think everyone is kind of like defaulting to Ice Spice, which is great. But realistically, I'm like, she can't be the only one, right? Like we this is a year where I mean, I know they've been out for a while, but Dave and Central C had a great record.
Mm-hmm.
Um I'm trying to think of other people who've been out there who had great records, but I'm like, these can't be the only people who broke out this year.
And
Um,
Cinch has been around for a while in the UK. Dave as well. I think just for like America, yeah, like 'cause they broke out to me. You know what I mean? But I,
yeah,
like just knowing the history, I'm like, oh damn, they've been around for a minute.
right. Nah, I mean, I'm looking at the playlist. The playlists are really the same people that's been around for like the last like 3, 4 years. Like, to be honest, I don't know when Apple Music. I'm sure there's plenty of
Listen,
payola, which is why.
the industry needs to hit up Shawn Michaels and Triple H, move a center down to Orlando, Florida. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And start a performance center for these new artists because I think that's really what you're getting at here.
Hey man, you know who could have used a performance center, sweetie?
Well, she said
She,
that she did.
she would have been Tiffany Stratton in the performance center if she had one.
She more like somebody we're going to talk about on this list today. I'm gonna wait. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
wait before we
god.
talk about that.
Even
But
even Lil Baby, just don't you don't sound isn't it, is it really is it over just like that?
yes, bruh, little baby, come on, man. It's more than over for him. But I mean, we need a performance center. Imagine Kendrick showing up to teach some classes and teach people how to roll around.
Mm. We had a that's funny as hell. We had a JID record from like 3 years ago become poppin' this year. That's how starved we were for
Yeah.
like new music. Oh, I guess Sexy Red would be. But sexy. If you had what would you equate Sexy Red to someone in NXT? Like, how would you equate her?
Jakara Jackson.
Okay. Potential still needs to hit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I equate her to. That's nice. That's
I
not bad.
would. No, that's not bad. I mean, I haven't seen Jakara really do much, but I'm sure once she gets back from her injury, it'll be something. Oh, I forgot Dirk dropped a record this year at
Yeah,
Offset.
but
Oh,
apparently a lot of people on Spotify, that's all they could fucking remember. That apparently he was erroneously added to a lot of people's Spotify's this year.
oh wow.
Oh god, I can't believe you didn't see that. It was like a big thing on Twitter where people were like, I did not listen to this Lil Durk album at all this year, and it's all over my rap.
All my life. That song was fire.
I don't know. Was it?
I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I think what we and usually we all like center around an album this year. I think the album that we all really like gravitated towards, I would say the Drake album, the Gunna album.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Even with the Gunna album, like I thought it was cool because he was addressing a lot of things on it. Um,
mhm.
but I think that like ultimately it was like slight because it wasn't fun, and we want to hear like fun Gunna, and he wasn't like fun. It wasn't a fun album to listen to. It was
No,
very
no funna at all.
like other than like fuck you mean and Rodeo, even Rodeo, he's addressing a lot of things that are like kind of like kind of sad,
This
but like
was like this was like a more expensive. This was like you remember Ja Rule's Blood in My Eye, like
yeah,
where
yeah,
he's like, this isn't an album for like the people. This is an album for him to like restore his good name in the streets, and that's what like Blood in My Eye was, and that's what I think this album was. I mean, I didn't hate it, but yeah, I think we can go back to having fun, gonna
yeah.
funna.
You
You
got
know
to
what I'm
get back.
saying?
You got to get back to being with the women. You know what I mean? Like we
Absolutely.
heard you out. I think a lot of it was like I don't want them to think I'm a snitch. I think that's essentially what it was, and it was like I do not want them to think that I'm snitching. So I got to address all of it right now. You've done it. He's addressed it. It's out there. let's get back to what it is. You know what I'm saying? And
I applaud him for not like going too hard on it. Like I feel like it was, but like he ain't really like go on a press run to pretty much say I'm not a snitch. You know what I'm saying?
hasn't said anything. I think like the moment he does say something, I think it's gonna be must see TV, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you also had this Offset album,
That was good.
which kind of,
Offset album's really good, right? But
no, it's really good.
I think the thing with it is, to me, um, I can't listen to him in like large stretches. I think it's a good album, but it's sequenced very badly to me. It's not a very well sequenced album to me. Like I feel like the Cardi B song
Sure.
should have switched. Like I'm not a big fan of Freaky. What is this?
I think him and Quavo have the same solo album problem,
Right.
like easily. Like I think it's just it's sequence bad features that you may or may not remember that's on there because usually you know what it is, Offset and Quavo are the one who usually excel on the features. So for
Hmm.
them to like put together songs themselves, it takes a bit. I don't know what Quavo's solo career would be without clout, to be honest with you.
You mean Offsets?
Oh, Offset, yeah, Offsets would be without clout because I feel like if that didn't work, we wouldn't even get this because I don't even think that would have worked.
Yeah.
Um, So it's interesting, but yeah, we could. I mean, no real new artist to grab onto. No, the industry seems to be moving in whatever direction Drake is moving, hip hop wise. Um,
Which has been the case for
long too
decade.
long. I feel like yeah, it's too
Decade,
long.
yeah. But I mean, Playboy. I know you don't probably like listen to a lot of Playboy Cardi, but he's coming back
I
out.
listen to I listen to official releases, so if it's not on the actual streaming thing, I don't hear it.
Yeah, Cardi's Cardi's out, and I think that's fun. That's always fun to listen to. But again, like you're like you said, like you're looking at you know you're looking at a situation where it's just very isolated. I think music wise, and um, it's tough. It's we're in a tough spot here, right?
I agree. It's a I don't know 2000 the 2020s been pretty rough thus far. I'm not just saying it because of like the pandemic, but I'm just saying like I look back on a couple years. I'm like, oh, okay, that was nice, but realistically, like I feel like it's rough out here. And then you got other music like SZA, and if you like R&B, R&B is pretty much the same kind of women running it. Um, uh, ooh, almost played some music. Women running it.
SZA, she turned that corner. She turned that corner.
She's superstar. How do
Yeah,
you feel about how about this? And not necessarily R&B, but like I listened to this Doja Cat interview with Apple Music, right?
yeah.
Um, and I feel like I was definitely in a lot of my not premonitions, maybe premonitions. A lot of my thoughts about what she was doing this year with a lot of things that she did,
Mhm.
and it all summarized to that she felt like she was too popular, like way too popular for someone who of her kind of like status. Did you listen to the Doja Cat album at all?
No, I
Okay.
won't. Well, I
Oh.
listened to like a couple of choice selections from it. I think she's incredibly talented. I can't get past like the edge lordiness of it
Mm,
all. Like it's distracting. I'll say like I think like her response to certain things that like she does is very much like um how could I say like it's very much like matter of fact, like whatever, like you guys are thinking of it as a bigger deal than I am, and I'm just like nah nah, it's pretty fucked up, this the stuff
and
that
I
you say
think
to me sometimes.
that's why she doesn't want to be popular anymore.
Like,
She
oh
wants to
come
be
on,
able.
you guys
Yeah,
really care that I said this, like yeah.
that's that's exactly her response to everything. You guys really care. You guys are lame. Um, that's so funny. But yeah, I don't know. Not a lot of stuff this year. You saw some good movies this year. You got any recommendations for me?
You're not gonna go see him.
I mean, I might. I was thinking of watching. I mean, is the Blue Beetle?
Blue
Blue
Yeetle
Beetle
is
is
crazy.
it's fun. That's my Jehuso.
That's the shit. So Blue Yeetle is crazy, huh?
Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle's
I've
fire.
been thinking.
I like it a
Okay,
lot. I think that in terms of just like a movie that really exemplifies Latino culture and doesn't like other them and you know like I think it's a triumph in that sense.
okay, all right. I mean, you can still recommend movies to the people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm hey listen I'm just saying that you know
No,
I don't know
I'm not a jump to movie watcher.
you're
Um,
not and so
I'm
like
not, but
I
I will from time to time, but like not immediately. Oh, it's
I
on
protect
HBO
your
Max.
peace.
Okay,
I protect your peace.
okay. I'm a very League Pass got me in the crippler crossface every night. You know what I'm saying? Um, but that I mean, we had a lot of good stuff. I like anime. We had a lot of good anime this year.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
your Jujutsu Kaisen isn't fully caught up yet, but I'm
But you keep
ready.
telling me to
I'm ready to tell you after next week.
watch it.
If you can, you're right. If you can spread out your watch over the next 2 weeks, because
Yeah.
it's about to finish. Like this
Okay.
week, it finishes in Japanese dub. The Japanese dub is only 2 weeks behind. It's
Okay.
only 2 weeks ahead of the English dub. So if you want to start watching it and like take your time with it, feel free.
Okay.
It's a
Alright.
lot, but it's it's there.
But I keep seeing people talk about it, and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to finish it. You know, I like to sit down and watch it as a whole. Like,
Okay. All right. Then maybe wait the 2 weeks. Maybe wait a couple weeks in January. It should be done. But it's been really good. It's probably the shining star of like anime things in terms
okay,
of this year.
okay.
Um,
I
and then also go ahead.
oh, I I want to. I think next year, like, start getting more of my friends into stuff that I watch too. So like
Nice.
that's gonna be a big thing. I'm gonna be advising and like trying to tell people more things to get into. I think so.
J5's watch it a month.
Yeah, I
So
should.
you
That should be the
should
thing. That should be the thing. I'm definitely gonna do that. But
listen. It's be bigger than Oprah's book club. You know what I'm saying?
oh man. All right. Was there any news this week? I know people are like, what
Um, unless you were, this is about to be a very poor joke. Are you ready for it?
no, but go ahead.
Okay. Unless you were black and ugly, then no.
Wow. I mean, we can start with that. I think it's completely fine to start with that. I think.
I think so as well. But here's the thing, like, you want to do our wrapped up for 2023? We've been telling about this people about this nigga for the entire year and then
Yeah,
some.
yeah. And no one listens. So it's
No one,
like
all
seriously?
skin folk ain't kinfolk. You know what I'm saying? That's a big term, and it was. We had a couple weeks ago because of the list thing came back up, and we had our discussion about essentially like why is he really the only person in this position, um,
Right.
only black person in this position in this company, and everyone's heralding him as the first ever black AEW champion. When you got to kind of realize, like, if you're as a minority in this place, like, why isn't he helping other people get to the same spot that he's getting?
Mhm.
Whereas, and you can count on NXT, you can count on WWE, you can count on TNA, you can count on pretty much anywhere else with a diverse talent pool of how much other talent helps people get to the space they want to be in. So we had a lot of questions, not only just that, but like how he dresses and how he acts and how he speaks and how he raps and how he thinks.
What he looks like. Hat,
Yeah,
beard.
yeah, all these other things, and now, because someone caught him in one of his terrible raps saying something terrible, now
Now it's
everyone,
like, oh man, I
oh man,
I had so much faith in you. Don't be attacking. But just listen.
we wrote essays.
When are we not? But my thing is this, Meelz. When are we not right about these things? I can smell it on niggas. I can smell it on people. Swerve Strickland. Well, I said it a month ago. He's a wall runner. He's a wall runner.
That's funny.
I
As a
said this
distinction.
already. He be running up walls. I said this. What's wrong with y'all?
He is someone. I mean, he hasn't really responded to any of it. Well, I wouldn't know because I
He's,
haven't
he's
blocked.
not
But
going to. He's let
as
newsflash. He's not going to.
people on the internet, essentially, I mean, this is what you get for. I feel like people have to have a lot of. People got to take their time in championing people, right? You don't just want to champion people just solely based on like, oh, they're black. I'm definitely down with it. Well, that's cool. Don't get me wrong. I would definitely take a lot more time to figure out why you're absolutely championing someone beyond the fact that they're just black. It's as someone as a black wrestling fan, we usually like to, um, you know, hold up our people, especially people who we haven't really seen in this position, and probably over the last 5 years, we've really seen them, get to new heights and new opportunities and all this stuff that we didn't get when we were a kid. But I also question people like use your judgment, like the what's the Cleopatra meme like where you're pointing to your brain, like use that, like seriously.
Turn this on. Turn it on.
Yeah. Because realistically, like this was 100%.
Saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah, 100%.
No,
Supposedly Bailey signed a new deal, multi-year deal with WWE. She's not going nowhere.
shout out to her.
Shout
Deserved.
out to
Listen,
Ray
she got that 3-star out of Tamina. I shut up.
Ray Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio re-up.
Yeah, Rey Mysterious.
The mysterious ones. Um, the Iron Claws now in theaters. Do you have any interest in seeing it? Will you think of seeing it in theaters, or are you going to wait for it to show
My
up on something?
my pal Cam saw it and he was like, it shook me, and like I was like, I know it fucking did. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like it like I know it did, Cam. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like it's something that I just will wait for streaming to see, bruh. I'm not even gonna lie to you, dog. Like I
Mm,
I, I couldn't I couldn't see that in theaters, bro. It's too sad. Like knowing the story is sad. Even knowing like even the dramatized version that excises one of the brothers is still sad as fuck. Like,
yeah.
come on, man.
Um, William Regal's son is going to age. Is it AJPW?
Yeah, that was another big thing this week. It was like, I promise you, this deal is not gonna happen.
Like, why would you promise that? What intel do you have?
I have
They
intel.
told you it was happening.
This is not gonna happen. It's like, all right, but then it happened, and so what? What now? What are we to think now? Who are we to judge?
Listen, the WBD and WWE negotiations, the whispers are getting very loud.
The whispers are getting whispery, bruh.
It's getting, even Meltzer himself is like, "Hey, man, listen."
Both are like, if this happened, what would y'all do? Both are like, if this had happened, like, what would y'all do? Like, would y'all be sad or would y'all be happy about it?
Just asking, just putting it out there.
I want to
Use a
know
poll.
if this was to happen, what would y'all do? What would niggas do if this was to happen? I'm gonna tell you right now, they're gonna fucking trip. People are gonna fucking trip the fuck out. Is what's gonna happen. Let me tell you right now,
Just
people are not ready for the jokes and laughter that I'm gonna have if this happens.
we might have to do it live.
I might have to go to the hospital, Meelz, because of how hard I'm gonna be laughing.
Oh my god, no, it would be, boy.
Like I might
It's
have.
gonna be a day. It's gonna
I'm,
be a day on the A show for sure.
I literally might lose it. Like I might lose it, Millsy.
Listen, if this happens, people can't ignore. I mean, people. I don't even think people ignoring the red flags. I think they just willingly like whatever. We like wrestling, um, but you can't ignore that. Let's see, Mustafa Ali.
Yep.
He's free. He's doing his post WWE thing. Um, Matt Riddle is signed to MLW.
Sucker. Yeah.
Let's see, what do we have here? I'm scrolling. Shout out to the Daily Smart for sponsoring our quick thing. ROH got a new women's title,
Yeah.
whatever that means. Um, let's see. Oh, your SmackDown news. Your guy 4K looks to be coming back. In
Mhm. Come on, man. Stop hating on him.
it's heavier.
Stop hating on him.
He's it may look like, but it's heavy though. You know what I'm saying?
Stop
Like
hating on him.
one of
Stop
those.
hating on him. Nah, stop hating on him. I hear you. I hear all the whispers.
I
Stay silent.
there's
Yeah.
I literally just look at what happens on TV and make comments on it.
Bandwagon is closed.
I don't need to be part of this.
Bandwagon's closed.
I don't want to be any part of this.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed.
Karrion Kross seems to be joining forces with AOP and Paul Ellering as of this Friday's SmackDown. Last Friday's SmackDown, all the vignettes that's happening. Y'all can have that. I mean, it's cool. I mean,
Yep. You hear
I'm
him,
sure
y'all. You hear him, y'all.
y'all can have it. It's
You hear him.
I'm sure it'll be great. Maybe. Probably
You hear
not.
him, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. One time for the one time. Hold on. One time for the one time.
Go turn that off.
One time.
How did you get that?
Listen, man. Let's just be clear, bro. I see the vision. It's never been clearer. What did you think of Cam Grimes coming with the KO a couple weeks ago? Because usually, like in Triple H's WWE, like those things just aren't one offs. Like
they mean things. Yeah,
yeah. That actually will pay off. Like stuff pays off. Like what did you read anything into that a couple weeks ago?
I could see something happening from it. I mean, I feel like you said, these things definitely matter. I mean, we had JD McDonough probably like this time last year walking up the Finn and didn't get into Judgment Day until months later.
Yeah.
So these things mean things. I could see something happening for him. Especially with to me, I guess the best case, Triple H's usual thing is like he needs to be. If you want to be on SmackDown, you probably got to be on a tag team or a group or something along those lines,
Yeah,
because
right.
you're really not getting on that otherwise.
Give him the new Sammy. That's what I looked at. I was like, oh, this is probably gonna be his new Sammy.
Okay, I could see that. Speaking of guys who are fed up on SmackDown, there's an AJ Styles guy. Did you see him?
Yeah, he looked like
his man showed up. He's like, we haven't seen you in weeks, AJ. And he's like, fuck y'all niggas been. I'm dark now. I don't like the new look, but it is what it is.
Hey,
he's trying something.
I think he's getting new gear and it wasn't ready yet. I think he's gonna have new gear and it just wasn't ready yet. I think that usually he's in between gear, so I'm not gonna judge him. But he do look like the soccer mom Undertaker.
Yeah,
he looked kind of crazy. But when is he not looking crazy, y'all?
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
he's always looking crazy. He's
to be rude with you. When is he not look crazy? You're right.
He's always looking crazy. That's just what it is. More stray thoughts from this past week. Stephen P. New, attorney at law.
Ooh, I was about to talk about that NDA talk. Let's do it.
Represents a lot of big figures in pro wrestling. Jim Cornette being one of them. CM Punk being the other one of them. CM Punk reposted a Jim Cornette video about Stephen P. New, and Cornette talks about Stephen a lot in his on his show. So they have a bunch of clips about talking about him. So Punk is a right winger. What else did you see? He's a philanderer. We talked about that a week ago. All of these things, by the way, Meelz, that have come out just because he left AEW. You are we clear on this? Like none of these things came up while he was in the company. None of these things came up.
I mean, this is how they do.
He has referenced Meelz. He has referenced Jim Cornette's show in AEW promos before. No one said a word. Nobody has said a single solitary word about that. The moment he posts something from a Cornette show, but only because he's in WWE, this might be damaging to his career. Huh? What does that mean? Where have you found the mania and hysteria about CM Punk going back? Because I feel as though it's more on one side than the other. I feel like one side's really happy about it and they're not really bringing up anything else, and the other side is just like, just going crazy with the takes here on CM
I
Punk's
think
personal life.
I mean, again, I feel like this is something they never thought would happen. Um, Nor do they feel like it should have happened. I don't know. People just haters on success, man. Like it just is what it is. I think they've been on the side of the Bucks and a lot of people for a very, very long time. And especially when this whole brawl out, essentially, I think they hate the fact that this happened and the man is way more popular, more successful and in the money now than he has ever been before. And the fact that now that all these things are kind of like coming out to me, um, shows that they are still doing whatever they were doing
Yeah.
before. And we should not, I mean, again, I think we are one of the very few podcasts who take note of it, right? Or at least are willing to call it out. I don't know. We don't have any ties. We don't have, to anybody
Mhm.
really. But the machine is still moving how the machine moves. And the best thing Punk could do right now is ignore it. I'm sure he'll address it on his time.
Yeah.
But roughly continue trolling because MSG is sold out. The Kia Forum is sold out.
Yep.
Way more sold out than it
They're
was.
they are traveling. I would imagine they probably got the PJ for this because they're going from like Boston. They're going from like New York, Boston, LA, like all within 3 days. Montreal, like all within
No, there's two separate groups. This is crazy. They're like getting to the money like they lost last week. Like they're like, we're gonna give you guys a week off, but y'all niggas working twice. Because there's the MSG shows tonight. There's also
right.
Baltimore tonight. Then they have then from MSG, I think they're going to Toronto. But then the other show is going to like Vegas. Like the other
Right.
like again, I don't know what charter a flight because they are definitely going all over the place. It's kind of
Got to be
insane.
it got to be the PJ because it's not a full house, right? It's like roughly the same people going back and forth. Like Punk and Ray is like on every one of those A show cards, and then Bailey and Damage Control I think are on the B show cards because I think a couple of them are back to America now.
Yeah, I think well, yeah, they definitely came back. I remember seeing India, I guess, had her excursion and now she's back, but um they got enough talent to do whatever at this point.
Yeah.
We splitting it up.
But
I'm sure they centered the big shows. Like, listen, the big shows this week are MSG and the Kia Forum show,
right.
and then you may be split up in between. Like, of course, we're gonna send Sammy and KO to Montreal and Toronto, but we might send a couple more people who are on the MSG loop to the Vegas and other shows, so Boston or stuff like that. So they are, yeah. And there's a I don't know if you heard this. There's an AEW show this weekend.
Let's just be clear: we are not making Cyrus and Quan watch that show.
No, but I feel like when they return, they'll have to at least say a few words on it.
Yeah, they'll talk about it. But I want to get back to the NDA really quick.
Okay.
We find out from the back and forth regarding, I guess Brawl Out gets brought up again because Matt Jackson's wife.
His wife, yes,
was they said she was let go, but I guess Meltzer comes out and says she stepped down from her position. She handled like the merch and operations surrounding that merch and I guess the e-commerce stuff over at AEW. Comes out that Meltzer, of course, always in the damn message board. Shout out to A+. Says she didn't feel protected after Brawl Out when Punk came at her, and that
how would he know that?
Right? How would he know that? Why is he saying that from a place of knowledge? And he's not being put on the NDA right now. Like, how does he not have an NDA right now?
Right.
Like, because we find out throughout this whole conversation about her leaving AEW is that there are people that have a forever NDA that is like for the rest of their lives, and that is pretty much everyone that was involved. CM Punk, Bucks, Kenny, Ace Steel. The only person that didn't was Ace Steel's wife. Should she choose to talk about it one day, which she probably won't. But that comes out, and then Chris Jericho says, I didn't sign an NDA.
But no one asked.
And then Stephen P. New says, well, it's in your handbook that you have a confidentiality, like statures in there. And he's just like, basically, no, I don't. Brian Last from the Cornette Show actually has a picture of the AEW employee handbook in a ferocious burn because Jericho is, and this is deep podcast lore. Jericho, Cornette, Last, they all have a thing, you know what I'm saying, like a beef, podcast beef right
Of
now,
course.
and it's come
Because
out of like so Brawl Out basically gets brought up again, Meelz. Like
yes.
like this is their Montreal, except they didn't get no money after it.
No one became more over because of it. No,
Yes.
in fact, the company became a lot worse. This is if they did Montreal Screwjob and didn't know what the hell they were doing all after the fact. This entire exchange is crazy. I was like, don't y'all have families? Like, it's Christmas. But either way, I think just to me, I mean, this comes off a lot of also talk that AEW is changing.
Mm.
A lot of people, Meltzer was very concerned about the perception of AEW as the most recent because a lot of people who were day ones were essentially leaving. So he was kind of talking about how the perception of AEW is changing. Um, Again, I think all of this is kind of like a lot of companies go through change at various points. So this isn't new. Um, However, this entire exchange, I thought this was such like we need
Unprofessional.
a yeah, we need a where's Brian? You know what I'm saying? Where's no
Unprofessional.
one
Jericho's not getting fined. Let's just be clear.
no.
And I have to say that like
He should. You kind of
one,
want to set the example for it, but you should.
one thing that I'm also like not cool with is like the AEW wrestlers that are like joking about this because it's like this is like supposed to be workers' rights like company, and now they're all joking about a wrestler who is still active, and we'll talk about another wrestler that's active in an office role, but like active still being able to find their coworkers. What is wrong with y'all? This is some strange shit. Real shit. Like
I think
truly.
I think if I had a guess from the roster, I think most of the people are fed up and trying to just stay out of it or not even acknowledge it anymore. But I don't understand why Chris Jericho also feels like he needs to continue to harp on. It's like I didn't sign an NDA. It's like, bruh, what? Who cares? Like you weren't even you. If you didn't sign an NDA, you had a chance to talk all the shit you wanted the week after it happened, or the several months after it happened. Like,
Still
why is this brought up
this,
now?
still talking about this is super cringe. Like the fans do it enough already. But I think bringing it up shows that that shit rocked the company to its core. They lost their biggest draw because of it. You know what I'm saying? I think there were
Hey,
several stories still on the horizon, and several stories they left on the table with CM Punk before this happened.
they might
And
lose their network because of it too.
like
Just saying.
it's always a moment like that that changes the company. I think Montreal was one of them. Finger Poke of Doom was another one. WCW. It's all about how you recover from it. Like I said
Right.
before, I've seen one company recover from something, a scandal this big. Just one. Just one.
Hmm.
I mean, several, but like this, I one in particular between locker room issues. I don't think AEW's got the leadership to really corral these guys and to stop making these bad tweets and stop arguing with lawyers on Twitter on Christmas Day. All of that stuff. Like it's all just terrible because again, you see people like Ricky Stark saying, "Can my coworkers just shut the fuck up?" I bet you got a fine for that.
I hope
For sure,
not.
got a fine for that.
I hope not. It's yeah. All of this is unnecessary. People need to move on. Their show stinks. They need to figure that out. The guy missed his own. You know, Chris Jericho need to figure out who the hell his tag partner is going to be at this point.
Are you still excited for Swerve or
Me excited for Swerve? I was
are you
never excited for Swerve.
think he's gonna win this whatever the fuck it is? The
I don't think he's gonna win, but I was never excited. I never the
you you were acting like I said that you like stomp babies just now. Just me saying that.
oh nah, because I think the final is gonna end up being between Mox and Kingston.
Kingston. Yeah.
Just because it's Kingston's area and all this other stuff like that, and he has some history with Mox. But yes, I would respond to that as you just kick. Like I've never thought like I have no. I got nothing to say. That guy's he's a loser,
Black and
and he
ugly.
just is. Yeah, there you go.
You
There you
want to talk
go.
about somebody black and ugly? He black and ugly. Let's just be
Hey
real.
man, let's talk about it. Ugly soul. You know what I'm saying?
Is there? And do you want to talk about World's End, the card, real quick
No,
before
yeah.
we,
Well,
we go to the?
it's not. It's still not complete. They still need to have Wednesday show to figure out who's not in the tournament anymore, so they can book the other matches that they
Okay,
have
so
for
real
this
quick,
show.
real quick. Some of these I didn't even know were happening. Uh, Hook versus Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that was happening.
Julia Hart versus Abaddon. They just don't know what the fuck to do with her, huh?
They, yeah, there's some spooky shit. I guess I don't
Where's
know.
Statlander at? Never mind.
She is, yeah, well, being, uh, yeah, never mind.
Timeless Tony Storm versus Rio.
You know they gotta give Rio her one push per year and shit. They
Yeah.
just get caught this one at the end of the year.
Big Bill and Ricky Starks versus Chris Jericho and TBA. Who do you think is gonna be? Stink?
Enzo Amore.
I think it might be Stink, low key.
Um, I hope not.
Stink makes the most sense. I think having him go into his final match and then hold the title one more time. He can't hold the world title. He can't hold the TBS one. So that makes more sense to me. Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland. He gets to have his AEW match, y'all.
Yeah,
He gets to
this
bleed
is it.
again. He gets to bleed again, y'all. I look
This
at
is
this
it.
and I'm just like old man trying to live out his 20s again.
Yeah, I'm ready for this to kind of be over, so they can actually like pursue their AEW careers. You know what I'm saying?
This is his career.
Like, so they can actually pursue like all the things that he came for. I wouldn't have made this feud first in Adam Copeland's journey at all. Um, I was also, you know, what I was also thinking about the other day. Sidebar, Cesaro,
Who's
and
that?
I was just,
Oh,
and I was just like, yo, look at, because I think he came up on my Instagram thing, and I was just like, look how they ruined this guy. He was he was someone who had gone to industry, had never been a world champion, and that could have been a big story just of his AEW run.
yeah.
And especially like he could have come close to it, he could have orbited around it. Maybe he hasn't got it yet, etc., etc. Instead, they do it in like 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a rain on a brand no one watches, and now I don't even know what Cesaro does.
Loses to Brian Danielson in tournament matches.
Apparently. So
Would you say that they fumbled Cesaro?
I would say they fumble Cesaro for sure.
The Roman
Like
Reigns to fumble
even
pipeline.
even if he wins the world championship, his world championship run should be a much bigger deal
We should
than.
add biggest fumble to our year-end list.
Ooh, okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, let's add biggest fumble. We'll debate it in real time.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it down here right now.
Okay. Um, in the main event of this show,
I got mine. MJF versus Samoa Joe with the loom of the death. The whole show hinges on this reveal. Let's just be clear. Nothing else matters on this show. These are all dynamite matches. Just looking at the card.
this is
All
a bad show.
all who okay, one last time, gun to your head, who's the devil?
Jack Perry.
I'm gonna say the same. I think it's Jack Perry. Have fun, y'all.
Yeah, do whatever you gotta do. If they reveal it to be like MJF, I'm gonna be in like a pre-tape or some shit like that.
They've
Imagine.
been beating him up. That would be Vince McMahon higher power level crazy.
But yeah, but also there's an opportunity for it to be like Adam Cole as well.
If it's Adam Cole, do you ever trust this company ever again?
Nah, not really. But I don't trust him now. So
I mean,
really,
just in terms of just like having a fair, sensical angle that doesn't involve like a legit injury that they hyped up for weeks.
nah. I mean, I don't. My thing is, I want more stories out of him, but I also don't trust him to write the stories. So
That's true.
we're really fucked on all
There you go.
accords with this one.
There you go. Let's get to our list. We've beat around the bush long enough. I want to be clear also for last episode. of 2023. And our first episode of 2024 will be on the 9th for patrons, the 10th for everybody else.
Right.
So next week, there's literally no shows.
Yeah, there's one show, but it's at this point we can chat about that another time. You can join the Discord and we can chat about it in real time.
Yeah. We're gonna. I think if there's anything pressing, I was telling Meelz, I'm gonna keep an eye out on things like the Okada stuff or anything that might happen with Punk or any like huge announcements. Obviously, a huge thing. We're gonna come back, but there's really nothing going down. I think. I mean, we don't really cover the AEW stuff like the War Report does, and so we'll be back when there's on the road to Royal Rumble. When you guys like that a lot better.
Yeah, and we'll have. I'm sure there'll be plenty of to talk about. But yeah, if something major happens, we'll hop on. But realistically, like, doesn't seem like there's nothing going on. So after this, you might see you in 2 weeks. But until then, I mean, you guys, we gotta finish this year endless. We gotta finish 2023 off. To be honest with you.
Yes, sir. Let's start. Let us start with tag team of the year, and I think this is unanimous between the both of us.
Yeah, my thing is tag teams weren't really like
a thing, like a big thing.
Yeah,
Who were gonna pick? The Acclaimed?
They're more of a trio, I guess.
Judgment Day could be one.
I was thinking Judgment Day, but then also like part of me is like Judgment Day is not really a team. Like they are, but they aren't. But they are.
What do you mean?
They are, but it's like when I think of tag teams, I want the tag teams. You know what I'm saying? Like Judgment Day is, yeah. I want the Creeds. I want Pretty Deadly. I want those guys back in the thing. The mere fact that, I mean, the Usos were tag team champions to kick off this year. It went to Sami Zayn and KO. Then it went to, Damian Damian and Finn. Then it went to Cody and Jay. Then it went back to Damian and Finn. It's like this has been the year. Can be like beyond the record breaking the Usos title reign. It's like, can we put it back on tag teams? Like, please.
I think that by virtue of it being on top guys, they're all the championships have been in all top guy feuds.
Oh, this is true. This is true because again, before the Usos also were Randy and Riddle, and again, major feud. But I'm ready for some development in the division. You know,
I can vibe with that. I think that we'll get there. Strange Creed's loss notwithstanding, but like when I watched how they was acting, and then I saw him lose, I was like, nah, keep it on Judgment Day. Keep it on some professionals. But our tag team of the year, unanimous, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I mean, you could talk about, who had the most tag team title wins, who had the best matches, but I think who had the biggest moment, at least to me, it was these two. Seeing them win the tag team titles at SoFi live at WrestleMania in the main event, one of my most memorable moments of the year, just in general. But I rewatched it and I looked at the emotion on their faces, and Sammy crying, KO crying, his wife crying in the crowd. It was a great moment. I know a lot of people would have wanted it to be a solo moment for Sammy, but this to me was a meaningful moment for both of them, because KO's main event at WrestleMania. He main evented 2 years ago.
Absolutely, and then also you got to think, when's the last time tag team champions will beat the world champion?
Yeah.
They had a major moment defeating Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa at I forgot what it was, a Super Showdown. It wasn't Crown Jewel.
It was
Clash of Champions.
Clash of Champions, yeah.
Clash of Champions, major moment. Like again, heavy on Sammy, but but still a major moment doing that. I gave it to him. I was like, you know what? I liked you guys out of all of them.
Our runner-ups begrudgingly is FTR.
I mean,
don't have much to say other than that, but they had an hour-long match. Kind of got to give it to them.
I was like, listen, they went an hour, retained. They beat them, MJF and Adam Cole, which apparently they're the only tag team to do this shit. Even with Adam Cole not being present. So yeah, FTR, I guess it is what it is.
Feud of the year. Now this one's This one's where me and Meelz, like these choices are where me and Meelz start to differ quite wildly. So like last week was like it was nice. You know what I mean? This week is like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Wait, what?
My choice for feud of the year.
Okay.
CM Punk versus AEW.
Oh, see, that's not a. It's like it
real.
happened.
It's real. What are you talking about?
Yes, it's a real. I didn't know we were going meta with it.
It's not meta. It's in the ring and out the ring. He came out with that bag and said, "For all you what counterfeit bucks."
You're a fool, by the way.
I'm one Bill Phil. He looked very sickly during that promo, and just really during that last stretch. Was he eating?
He didn't look like he wanted to be back. It looked like he'd gone through a lot. Well, here's the thing. Also, he just came off an injury as well, so recovering from an injury wasn't really, probably couldn't even work out the way he wanted to. But yeah, he looked completely different. His return to WWE and his return to AEW earlier this year looks completely different. He looks aggy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Just in general. So yeah, it was bad. It was bad, the whole thing. I can't believe you're thinking of my team. I picked Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline.
It was good, but it wasn't
like
enough.
Sami Zayn. Okay, all right.
The CM Punk shit just reached far and wide. But it was my runner up, so we could talk about it at length here. So why did you pick that? Why did you pick that feud?
I picked Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline because I felt like it was, again, this is a story leading back from 2022 and then building up in 2023, but it spanned multiple pay-per-views. Towards the end of it, it kind of felt like it was like dragging on, like, all right, can we get over this? But it was, WWE rarely does this thing where it's like an arc open and arc close, and they opened the arc with the honorary Uce stuff, and they closed it up with him and his best friend defeating Roman Reigns, for the tag team titles in at Clash of Champions. Like, it's a very, this one is like the perfect story built up, has that moment, that crescendo where he turns on him at Royal Rumble and then has to, he tries to face Roman Reigns himself, can't get it done, but through the power of friendship and is, ultimately they're the best together than they were apart, is able to eventually do it at the end of the day. I think it was a perfect story. It was summarized in a couple months.
You like it because it's anime.
Yes. Well, yes, obviously.
Anime AF. I mean, yeah. It brought us so many moments. Obviously, the Royal Rumble moment, we talked about that at length last week. Also brought us another underrated moment that I don't see a lot of people talk about: the hug on SmackDown.
The
hug on SmackDown. That was a big deal because it was like, oh, okay, we're really gonna get that. The build to that.
Like, nah, I ain't fucking with you. Leave me alone. You don't kick me in the balls and all types of other shit.
You let me die. You left me to die. You wanted me dead. And then, they come back together, and it's a power. It really is, like, in a way, or rather in a year where AEW was all about the friendship. This was really all about the friendship. It was really all about the friendship between these two.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. My runner-up was Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins, which is continuing to go right now. I just felt this feels very natural. Mm-hmm. Like a natural progression. It feels kind of like, again, it reminds me of the Bret Hart in the 90s kind of vibe, where it's not like a very abrupt turn, like he just suddenly decided to descend on the things of evil. It was compounded over time of like screw job after missed opportunity, after being told, everyone's telling him like, your reign, I mean, we all have lives, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I had my reign in the pandemic, and I didn't get to do any of all these other things like you, with crowds around, and they're like, oh, I'll get over it, Drew. And he's like, I got beat up by the Bloodline, didn't even get my title back. And he's like, everyone did. Like, right, like, you're doing too much. I felt him, so that's why I felt this.
Drew McIntyre versus Seth, a feud for anyone who's been told you're doing too much.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
No, I think was
Um,
what made the feud work better than like the Nakamura feud for me and like some of Drew's feuds in the past year is that it was rooted in the reality of what happened. And I mentioned on the show that I was not a big fan of them bringing up the pandemic. And once they got away from that, it ended up being a lot stronger as a feud, and it benefited a lot from them not bringing up the fucking pandemic. Like just like y'all didn't even bring it up during the fact that it was happening. Don't bring it up during this feud. I felt like that was kind of nasty, but
no, I agree.
I
You
think
want
that
to?
was that.
No. Keep going.
But I think that there is, any feud that's kind of rooted in reality that is to me a winner, and I really enjoy the character work that Drew is getting to do. It looks like he's able to sink his teeth into something finally, and that was something that was sorely missing from his presentation for the past year and a half.
We got responses from the people.
Okay.
Um, I have Bloodline Civil War. I have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. I have Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline. I have Brock
You know what's
Cody.
funny about the Cody Roman thing and why it didn't end up on my thing ultimately, because there was a lot of it done outside of those two, whereas I think the feud this time will be a lot more direct, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Like Roman was
Same.
worried about other shit while the Cody thing was going on, and then when it happened, but like if you think about it, Meelz, they got maybe 3.5 weeks of them kind of interacting with each other, and
Yeah, they didn't have the first meeting until after Elimination Chamber,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
um, which was about a month and a half out before we got to the actual pay per view.
yep,
So, um, and the only real thing that really happened was that Cody beat Solo. You know what I'm saying?
well deserved.
But we got Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline, Brock versus Cody, Sami Zayn and KO versus the Bloodline. The whole Brooks Jensen, Kiana, and Fallon thing.
I forgot that was this year.
That was awesome. That was awesome. By the way, did you know I forgot this year?
What?
Toxic Attraction breaking
I
up. I was like,
thought that was last year too.
I was like, yo, she really kicked her in the door this year.
Mandy
Um,
definitely got fired.
at the end of last year, this time, literally probably a year ago today, um, and then they split this year. But it felt like 6 years ago at this point because Gigi has done nothing and JC she's doing something, but again, still largely like nothing.
We're gonna talk
Um,
about GG, but yeah, continue.
yes. Ilya versus Carmelo, the Bloodline, Sami KO thing, Rey Mysterio, Dom, and Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland, Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch, Brock and Cody, Bloodline Sammy, Bloodline Civil War, Cody Brock, Cody Roman, Roman Cody, Cody Brock, and Judgment Day versus everybody. So
Cody
we got
Brock
a
was
nice
great.
little mix here.
Cody Brock was great. No lie, it
Cody,
was a great
yeah,
feud.
it was really good. What else we got next?
Moving on, we're gonna get to these are
Oh,
like the
we probably should
specific.
have done. I forgot tag team of the year too from the people. Hold on.
Oh yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of people said KO. A lot of people said KO and Sammy. Let's
Okay,
see. KO, Sammy, or Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And I see a couple creeds.
fire. Um, these are like the show specific ones. So these are going to be
Yes.
just basically based on all of the shows that we watch. So, best NXT takeover of the year. Meelz, I need you to explain your winner. And I think Cyrus and potentially Quan will also have some qualms with what you chose here. But go ahead, say it.
What? NXT No Mercy? Great match at the
No, you
end.
put takeover of the year. You put stand and deliver.
Oh, did I? Hold on, let me
Yeah,
see. NXT Stand and Deliver. I think I really like Stand and Deliver. Don't get me wrong. The ladder match, albeit booking, I thought the ladder match was good. Booking aside, I thought the ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship was good. Um,
what?
Gallus, I'll never go up for anything for that. Yeah, it was good. What are you talking about? The Fatal Five Way for the North American Championship. That's damn near a 5-star match. Um, Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller, another great fucking match. Alba Fire Ilya Dawn defeats Fallon Henley and Kiana James, again storyline thing that I really really dig.
That match
And
was like 2 minutes long.
Carmelo versus Braun Breaker.
Was
I
bad.
mean, it happened. Yeah, it
No,
was bad, but it happened.
I listen. I would put that as probably one of the worst pay per views of the year.
Oh damn. Okay. Well, at least one person, two people agreed with me. Okay. We'll find out who you are and send you guys some shirts.
Damn, that's crazy.
I'm
They
lying.
automatically win. My NXT takeover of the year was No Mercy.
Okay, that's my runner-up.
Strong. What? What?
You're saying wait, listen, there's been 6 NXT takeovers. Why are you saying runner-up is bad? I ain't what your runner-ups.
What? Come on, man. NXT No
All right,
Mercy is a runner-up
let's
with
talk about
that
it.
main
Let's talk
event.
about it.
With that main event, I need you. You know what? We're gonna do something unprecedented. I need you to change your pick.
I will not be pressured into
I
changing
need
it
you to
this
change
way.
your pick. Trick
I will
Williams
wait to
versus
I
Dom.
will wait till you. Yes,
Trick Williams
let's
versus
go
Dom.
for it.
One of the most
Okay.
over matches on the show.
Okay.
Ilya versus Carmelo. One of a lot of people's, one of their matches of the year, by the way.
Okay. Okay.
The Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Tag Team Championships was really good as well.
Okay.
Baron Corbin, Braun Breaker was probably the weakest match on the show, but you also had that really good British Rules match with Butch versus Noam Dar that had a really probably one of the strongest Heritage Cup matches of the year, and in a year that had way too many of them. By the way, it's just a stronger show. It had better talent. Becky Lynch is on this show.
Did you see what I just did?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
All
you.
right. So unanimous, No Mercy. You're wilding. Your runner-up is Stand and Deliver. That's fine. My runner-up is NXT Battleground. Again, in a year where like Meelz said, very few NXT takeovers this year, which is fine. I thought that Carmelo Hayes versus Braun, the part 2 was much better. I thought that Tiffany Stratton and Lyra Valkyria was strong as hell. It was actually longer than the main event, if you can believe that. But it also had Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak, in which they both basically tried to kill each other for real, like for reals. But it had that. Wait, it had the triple threat between Tyler Bate, Joe Gacy, and Wes Lee. Nah, man, you might have to change your shit again.
All right, listen, you've had enough. All right, I changed the first one. Give me that. The people
Fine.
said No Mercy, NXT No Mercy, NXT Battleground, NXT Deadline, Great American Bash, Battleground, Deadline, No Mercy, Stand and Deliver, Great American Bash, and Stand and Deliver.
Fair, very fair. I like all those choices.
Let's keep going.
Yep. Let's see. Best Raw match of the year.
Raw TV match. So just
can we just say that Gunta is probably kind of the Raw MVP.
He is TV's. He might be if TV Guide had 100 the top 100 powerful people on TV. Gunther would have to be in there.
Yeah. The way he's cooked this year, unfathomable. The way this man's cooked.
Come on, man.
He's
in both of our picks.
Yeah, he's in both of our picks, runner up and winner. So I gotta say it's gonna be Gunther matches. What was your Gunther match from Raw?
My Gunther was Chad Gable.
Okay.
Had the great story. Had his kid crying. Had Gunther all after the fact saying, "I'm glad your kid cried." I loved it.
Love to see a kid cry.
That was your runner up.
Yes, that was my runner up.
So what was your winner?
My winner was Gunther versus Kevin Owens. And I think at the time on the show, I was kind of like, damn, they had Kevin Owens really lose here. But it was a great match.
It was fantastic.
I thought that Raw after Mania was very much the Gunther show. So that's why you see him so much on here.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I kind of want to change my match.
To what?
I mean, that Miz match with Gunther is wow. Just wow. You were there. Stop.
You were there. Y'all hear this? You were there is crazy. Yes, I was there. Yeah, I was. You're right. I was there. I saw it. I witnessed it. But I don't know if I give that to the Miz match right now. I don't know if
man. I kind of just know in spirit the Miz match is my top thing. But for right now on paper, I'm going to put Chad Gable. But just know that Miz match will live with me forever.
Motherfucker said just know.
Just know.
Can we boot him out of the fucking chat?
Y'all were there. The people said essentially
Y'all were there is such a crazy.
the majority of people said Gunther versus Chad Gable. I got also Dom versus Dragon Lee, which I forgot happened on Raw. If it did happen on Raw, oh, it did happen on Raw.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Judgment Day versus Raw baby faces of any variation, and Bailey versus Becky versus Bianca from that Raw before Elimination Chamber, Gunther versus Bronson Reed. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fire. All good choices. You can't go wrong with any of those.
Yeah.
You really can't. I'm a big fan. Moving on. Let's get to Smack. I still have SmackDown Live here. That's how long we've been using this. Let's change this. It might go back to being SmackDown Live, but
it might go back. You never know.
This I call this the memorial unanimous pick in memoriam.
In memoriam for the career of for Edge.
For one Adam Copeland. I put Edge versus Sheamus. You know what's crazy? SmackDown to me is a better show than Raw, but also has like less matches. But Raw has better matches than SmackDown. So it was very hard for me to pick an actual like best match on here.
No, I think SmackDown, they haven't done it in a while, to be honest with you. A lot of great SmackDown main events also used to belong to Gunther, to be honest with you, or the Usos. And now those are gone. I think they've had a lot of great SmackDown matches this year. I'm talking about Ricochet and Braun versus the Usos. I thought that was a great match this year. I thought there was another Gunther one on SmackDown that happened. Remember Gunther versus Braun Strowman?
Yes, I do. He gave Braun his best match ever.
Bruh, like Usos versus Sami Zayn and KO. They had a rematch. It was a banger on SmackDown. Like, there's a lot of things, but we're gonna give it to Edge versus Sheamus. It was a truly great match. It was a feel good moment. People are gonna cap and say the match that happens this weekend is Edge's best match this year.
What are you gonna do when you hear that?
I don't know. I might be asleep. They're gonna have a scrum in the middle of the night to an empty Nassau Coliseum or wherever the hell it is, Long Island Sportatorium, wherever it is. I don't know. But Edge versus Sheamus. Listen, man, you might be seeing Edge versus Sheamus again at some point. I see Edge versus Sheamus again at some point. But
what have you heard? What have you heard?
I ain't gonna say a damn thing. But you know what? Who's our runner-up?
My runner-up for best SmackDown match was Io Sky versus Asuka. I think this was unanimous as well. Again, like the actual match pool is very, very small on SmackDown, but I think Io, in a lot of ways, Meelz has come into her own just as a main eventer for the women's side, but also just like her own kind of viable star. Like, she does not need to cut a lot of promos for people to have that magnetism towards her. Like, people really gravitate towards her, and we've seen it in real time in Puerto Rico. We've seen it in real time just on any show that she's on. People are chanting her name. They're loving just seeing her out there. And so Io is definitely like a top star to me in her division.
Absolutely.
Which, I don't think it was unfathomable that she would be, but it's kind of shocking that it happened so fast.
Absolutely. And quite a bit of people are actually happy with Asuka versus Io. Also, we got Edge versus Sheamus. We got Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We got Io versus Charlotte, which is crazy.
Y'all smoking dope on that one. What the hell? Well, you know what? The match did get better at the end. So yeah, I see.
We got Edge versus AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio. We got Gunther versus Braun. We got KO versus Sammy, which definitely did happen on SmackDown. Santos Escobar versus Rey Mysterio, which did that happen? I thought it was inconclusive.
Well, yeah, wait. Unless they just wanted to see Rey get hurt, which I'm cool with too.
Hey man. Dragon Lee versus Axiom, which is nuts. You could have saw that on NXT. I think that's pretty much the rest of the variation. Oh, the Usos versus Drew and Sheamus as well.
That did happen top of the year. Best NXT TV match of the year. I gave that to Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. Wait, Go ahead, Meelz. Go ahead. I need to talk to you about like what you be seeing on these shows. But go ahead.
First of all, that was my runner up. So maybe you want to talk about this your pick a little bit more before we get to my pick.
Yeah.
Before we start making judgments, okay?
Yeah, I need to talk about that. But listen, I thought that Becky made Lyra look like $1,000,000, and I think that Lyra made, like, when you hear NXT, you think of developmental, and I think a lot of people weren't super familiar. At least I wasn't super familiar with Lyra before NXT UK and when she debuted there. So like I wasn't really familiar with her game, but there's no developmental tag you can give to Lyra after watching that match. She did
Hey
fantastic,
man,
like she belonged.
Lyra's definitely a I wasn't familiar with your game all-star. This
Yeah. All year she was proving me like, oh, okay, yeah. She's like that. All right, I see. I'm sorry.
it's because that whatever that bird gimmick.
Which is fire. Oh, here we go. Y'all see this guy?
Wait, but people weren't feeling it. That's why she a regular ass person now.
Who wasn't feeling it? You.
Mad people,
Who's
mad
mad
people.
people?
She wasn't popping until she became a regular girl.
Who's mad people? I just want to know who mad people is.
I'm just saying, people in the arena, maybe the stand and deliver audience. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if you watch Stand and Deliver,
I see what
um,
people say in our own Discord. If feel like the people be fucking with it. So
hey
I don't know
man,
what people are you talking about?
she's good. She's cool now. She's cool now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying before it wasn't. Before it was a little like, do I really want this?
What?
My
All right.
NXT TV matchup, my NXT TV match of the year was Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov. I can't understand how you could vouch against this, considering how hot this match was, how good this match was. This was the beginning of Trick Williams pretty much turning into the guy. This is Ilya Dragunov proving that he can have a great match with anyone at any time. This had so many implications on the future of NXT that I can't see how you can be so incredulous in thinking I would pick
You
this
can call
as
me
an NXT.
incredulous, y'all. He using them big words against me, y'all. He's really
I
mad
can't.
now.
I think Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov was a fire match, so that's what
I'm
I'm
not
going with.
saying it's not fire. I'm just saying that when you get into
Becky and
good grabs,
Be-
I get you as far as the story implications. Yes, it began kind of where we're at with Trick and Mello now. Like I get you. I feel you on
yes,
that. Yes, sir. However, right?
appreciate that.
However, I'm out. I'm out. I quit. But listen, I feel you on that. But my brother, I think that Trick was way better now than he was then. It was very much a carry job to me.
Of course,
It
of
was very
course.
much a carry job, and that's why I can't fully give Trick everything there. I think with Lyra and Becky, that was two. They were sparring. It was two legends sparring. One is a legend in the making. The other one is already there.
Legends, legends.
See, that's why I can't talk to you about nothing, bro. You
You
see,
wanna?
I
Do you
can't
want
talk
to see what the people said?
what the people say.
Um, First of all, there was a pick for Ilya versus Trick, so shout out to that. Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins.
Oh
Lyra
shit,
versus
yeah,
Becky.
yeah.
Lyra versus Becky. Axiom versus Wesley. The Fatal Four Way match, which probably should be on there somewhere. The Fatal Four Way NXT North American #1 contender match that Wesley broke his back in. Um,
That sounded so crazy. But go ahead.
Baron Corbin versus Carmelo Hayes, Gargano, the Fatal Four Way match, Lyra versus Becky, Becky versus Tiffany, Becky versus Tiffany, Mello versus Wesley, Becky versus Lyra, Ilya versus Mello, Braun versus Mello,
A lot of Becky and Mello.
Becky, Becky, Tiff, Seth Braun, Creed's Dyad cage match. Wow. Salute to the Dyads.
Yeah.
Welcome to TNA.
What was that? Was that Channing that put that?
I should find out. But no. Judgment Day versus Trick Mellow Gang. Oh, I forgot that happened. Gargano Reed, Grimes Lee, Mellow Thing, Carmelo Wesley, Dragon Lee. So a lot of variations, but I think the Fatal Four Way, Becky versus Lyra, Becky versus Tiffany, are pretty much on top here.
Cool. Yeah, I fuck with that. All right. Hottest news story of the year. aka the CM Punk Awards. Go ahead, Meelz.
CM Punk gets fired from AEW is mine. It was, first of all, this was a great week. We learned out about the fight 7 minutes after it happened live during the pay-per-view. I'm not watching at the time. You weren't watching at the time, but we certainly got the news before we ever saw anyone grapple it up.
Yeah.
Lots of discussions about what happened in this week. Tony Khan announces on a Saturday the Collision before All Out, which happens in Chicago, that he has terminated CM Punk from his contract. People call him a pussy. People call him all.
Whoa!
Did the clip lie? Did I make the clip up? I'm
sorry. Man. You know what?
He said, "Listen,
you're right.
Do it. Let me. I was about to pull up the speech again. I was like, wait a damn minute. Tony Khan, CM Punk announcement. Hold on, let's see. I don't think they have the. Whatever. He This happens just mere months after Tony Khan announces that CM Punk is returning to AEW on a new show called Collision. It'll be on Saturday nights. We'll start in Chicago for the first 6 weeks, and then in Canada for the next 6 weeks. So him getting fired is my thing. What about you?
CM Punk returning to the WWE. I mean, we talked about it here. The story is incredible. Incredible in how unlikely it seemed and that it was at the time. You know what I mean? Like it's just something that just doesn't seem like to this day is still real. You know what I mean? That he actually fucking did that. He actually fucking came back.
I'm sorry. I'm watching the video of his announcement. He sits on a chair in front of people. Instead of standing, he brings out a chair. This is very like principal assembly kind of vibe I'm getting. But CM Punk returning is a major story. I mean, the business they still every morning at 9 a.m. are posting a CM Punk match.
Bro, I know people are getting tired of it because some views going down. I'm like, all right, it's time for him to come back to the show. So I
was like, what? CM Punk joins the Nexus. Okay.
But again, it's him coming back. It's him being embraced by everyone. It's him, you know, not only just being embraced, but embracing the people, embracing the change that's happening. The NXT moment, for as funny as that was a really cool moment. You know what I mean? For a lot of reasons. Like I think that it has not been a net negative for him to be back so far. And I think that all inclination that he might be some type of cancer or that people need to worry about him or anything like that is pretty much unfounded to me. Like I think that you know, it has been, as with all things, a concern that he might, you know, go crazy or you know, go the baby again on niggas that he works with. But
the baby is crazy.
No, that's not a concern.
The baby is nuts. Might go the baby might have to be the name of this episode. No, it's got to be the year-end show.
You don't think he's gonna go baby on niggas?
Well, you the JoJo CY, you a bitch, and that's CY. You think he's gonna go that?
Hey man, I'm just saying he might go to baby. He might go to baby on niggas, man.
Might go to baby is the new going postal.
Like going to baby on the nigga is just what it is, brother. Like it's something where, you know, I just don't think that that's something that people have to worry about. I think that he's gonna stay on his best behavior, and yeah, we're gonna see a different side of him here, and that's cool.
I agree.
Runner up for me was, I think this is both of our runner ups. Oh no, runner up for me is WWE sold to Endeavor.
Big news! It happened on the weekend of you being in WrestleMania.
Yeah,
so I feel you. Mine was NXT beats AEW in the ratings. That was an awesome day.
Funniest day.
fan perspective, how much they all went in on shows. I feel like we need that at least once a year to keep us all regular as fans of
Not,
tribalism.
not for
Um,
Tony Khan's well being, no. But yeah,
no,
just for
but
us.
yes, yes, it was great for us. The people said CM Punk returns to the WWE, Brawlin and Punk Watch, CM Punk, WWE goes international. That was a big deal. Um, WWE merging with UFC to form Endeavor, Endeavor purchasing WWE, Jade Cargill, Death of Bray Wyatt, CM Punk,
Mhm.
TV rights, Jade Cargill, Endeavor, WWE being sold, WWE being sold, CM Punk, WWE sales, CM Punk, Jade Watch, CM Punk, WWE, Jade, Endeavor. So pretty much Endeavor, CM Punk.
Yeah,
Um, vibe.
the world belongs to them. The world belongs to them. Uh, let's go to oh boy, worst match of the year. People were waiting for this one, Meals.
Yes, dude, bring for the negativity, and we're here to bring it because my worst match of the year. Hold on, I gotta see what pay per view this happened on, since we're counting NXT pay per views now and seeing what was on them. Um, mine was Baron Corbin versus Gable Stevenson. Gable
Ooh,
Stevenson.
okay, okay.
Boy, was that nasty! It
That
was a
was that was pretty disgusting. Not
NXT the
gonna
Great American Bash. They wrestled to a double count out. That's even worse.
lie.
A 6-minute double count out.
Not only that, right? Wrestle to a double count out, but also, uh, he like Gable Stevenson looked gassed, and for somebody that's like an Olympian, should not be looking gassed. He looked like he couldn't actually work like an actual wrestling match, which was
And
kind of
it
crazy.
felt like they also like booked this like the week before.
Right. Right.
And I was just like, what? Okay, all right. But it was pretty bad. I mean, people already didn't have high thoughts of Gable Stevenson, and then he comes out with a stinker. Boy, yeah.
Not good at all. My worst match of the year was Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler at SummerSlam. What were
Whew.
they thinking?
Why would they fight for real?
What did they think this was like Bloodsport or like just some sort of like Jean-Claude Van Damme movie? Because this is not what we wanted to see whatsoever.
SummerSlam was already long enough, but yes, this was not what we wanted to see. Shayna wanted to get Ronda wanted to get the hell out of Dodge. She tried to make Shayna into the super baby face in record time. Even though Shayna turned on Ronda, which is funny. But this was all bad, real bad, bad.
Yeah, I usually I try and like come up with some cap. I couldn't come up with no cap for this one, bro. It was egregious. I can't even believe they allowed this to be on their television show because that's how bad it was. But I mean, shout out to Ronda. She put her friend over, and Shayna Baszler is still, actively boring on Raw. So everybody wins.
My worst match runner up, which could have very well been the worst match, to be honest with you. It's really interchangeable at this point. Britt Baker versus Taya Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember this match. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of not well. It actually probably is the reason why they told Britt Baker just stay home and take care of Adam Cole. Like,
Yeah, you good, bro.
just yeah, you good. Like Britt Baker was on this run of matches, and it felt like she was gonna contend for the women's title, and I think she did. She ended up getting to that fatal 4-way at All In, but she had a, a road of stinkers on the way, and unfortunately, I don't know if it's whether Britt Baker overrated. Yes, she's pretty much the award still belongs to her in a sense.
Yeah.
Given that it's the Britt Baker most overrated award, that's what I'm calling it. But she can understand things. I don't understand what happened in this match between two people who have been wrestling for a long ass time. So I'm gonna put it as my thing. It is my runner up. Do you have one, or you want me to go to the people?
No, I got a runner up. It's actually going to be Jay versus Taya.
Oh, damn, Taya. Figure it out.
She was supposed to be there to help. She was supposed to be there to help niggas, man. She will help
I
at
don't even know where
nobody.
she is. I don't even know where she is, bro. I don't even know where
She's
she is at all.
she's on
ROH,
ROH. Yeah, she's on ROH.
of course, of course. The people said Gable Stevenson versus Corbin, Ronda versus Shayna, Corbin versus Stevenson, Swerve versus Paige. That's ultimate hating.
No,
That's
I
like
mean,
hating.
I didn't like the match.
I wouldn't call it the worst match of the year by any stretch. Um, I was gonna say black and ugly match of the year, but um,
Yo,
Brock Lesnar.
we're going too crazy today, bro.
Brock Lesnar is the end of the year. Brock Lesnar versus Omos, which wasn't bad.
Oh my.
Ronda versus sorry, Ronda versus Shayna, Ronda versus Shayna, Saraya, Ruby, Britt, Hikaru at All In, Rhea Ripley versus Maxine Dupree. I didn't want to be too crazy on Maxine Dupree, but she definitely deserves some sort of honorable mention for that stinker of a match. EC3 versus Tyrus. I'm sorry you watched that. Tribal Combat. Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho in an unsanctioned match. That one was terrible.
I forgot about that. I thought that was
That was
last year.
no, that was this year. It was terrible.
Oh man.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre match. It was Jeff Hardy versus Jeff Jarrett. Natalia versus Chelsea Green on the Halloween edition of Raw. Chris Jericho versus Adam Cole.
That
Shayna
match was
versus
ass
Ronda.
too. Everyone knew that Chelsea Green match was ass, even Michael Cole.
Ain't no cheers, ain't no funny announcements that could save that match. I tell you that. Dana Brooke versus Cora Jade. Ronda versus Shayna. Jeff Jarrett versus Jeff Hardy. Ronda versus Shayna. Natalia versus Chelsea Green. Shayna versus Ronda. Someone just said MJF.
Yeah, in general, yeah, I agree.
Shut up. We voted him runner up. And Rhea versus Maxine. So that's on that.
Yeah, Maxine.
Let's talk about the worst wrestler of the year.
Oh man. Listen,
who gets this honorable distinction?
You got to be
hold
really.
on. Go ahead.
You got to be really special to be this bad. All right, you got to be very special to be this bad. Okay, and there was only one person, and me and Meelz could unanimously agree that we absolutely hated to see their matches every time they were on TV, and continue to. And that happens to be your girl, Saraya.
Her matches were. You remember the LeBron James meme where he's making the 2 Chainz album, and they just have that badly produced burnt wink wink. That was Saraya matches this year.
Oh,
it was
man.
not good. She has not. They gave her all this money. She was this big signing last year. Couldn't wrestle really a lot because still worried about her neck issues. But now she's wrestling and it's just terrible. Talk about if they fumbled anything, it was the bag because they ruined this so bad. I'm glad it's unanimous. Saraya was terrible this year. And she won the title this year, which is nuts.
Well, she won the title
because it was in her home country.
Yeah, it was in her home country. She wins the title, and essentially, like, nothing really comes of it. Nobody really gets over because of it. It's just she's just there. And I think that, like, when you look at, like, that lineage of that AEW title is, whatever it may be, was that, like, the most forgettable women's champion they've ever had? I mean, it went right back to Toni Storm after her.
No, that's the that's the wild part about it. It is not the most forgettable champion they have. So the champions for NXT Women's title, there's Rio, the first one.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose, Hikaru Shida's second reign, which went 372 days, completely forgettable.
Right. Yeah.
Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm, first reign, completely unforgettable. Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm, Hikaru Shida, Saraya, Hikaru Shida, and now timeless Toni Storm. This entire year, I mean, beyond Jamie Hayter pretty much getting injured and stuff like that,
they had no plan.
Yeah, because Toni Storm wins the title, loses it in 66 days. Hikaru Shida wins the title, loses it in 25 days. Saraya wins the title, loses it in 44 days. Shida wins it back, loses it in 39 days. I'm sure she's not losing. I'm sure Timeless Toni Storm isn't losing to Rio, but I'm sure there'll be another flavor of the moment girl who eventually wins it back. My runner up was Gallus.
Jesus, why?
Just
What did they do?
Be on television. Good Lord.
What did they? I don't understand why you hate Gallus that much. Like I think that they're
I
completely.
think a lot of people hate Gallus.
They're serviceable. You need workers.
You need workers for sure.
Like NXT needs workers, Meelz. NXT
we need people who are employed to work. Yes. However, I just feel like Gallus is it just sucks all the fun out of the room. Like every time they show up.
I can't rock with it. I can't rock with it. I think Gallus is completely fine, completely serviceable. They don't shake the table too much. They don't shake the table too much. They're completely okay. They're okay with me. I'm fine with them.
Okay. All right. You heard it here first, guys.
They're fine. My runner-up was Ronda Rousey. I think I can honestly say this return has been an abject failure. She got no one over. She not even herself. No one cared. She was on TV but made no impact. Her matches were ass. She didn't care anyone. It was just trash. It was a terrible run this time. And we love Ronda Rousey's WWE run the first time. This time she just didn't feel special. And I think her matches and her aura generally reflected that this time around.
I agree 100%. What we got next? Oh wait, we got to talk about the people. The people
say.
The people said worst wrestler of the year, Saraya. Overwhelmingly Saraya. At least 11 Sarayas.
I think people signed up for the Patreon just to put Saraya.
Dana Brooke, LA Knight, Adam Cole, Scripps.
Wow.
Scripps is pretty. Not Reggie, but Scripps.
Yeah, the new guy, the new guy, not the old guy.
Scripps was a different guy. Tegan Knox, which is Ultimate Hater.
That's crazy.
Like that gotta be Rob.
Is that Quan?
Might be Rob. Is it? That's funny. Hit Row, Gabe Stevenson, Saraya, but with a typo. Swerve, Joe Coffey, Mox, and Vikingo because the botches and contrived spots are way too much.
All right.
That's lucha wrestling, baby.
Yeah, they're all about that. Yeah. Hey, you miss every rope you don't jump on.
That's funny. Which one do we want to go next?
Let's do worst feud of the year. Let's get through this. Let's try and do lightning rounds here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mine is Outcast versus Britt Baker, Hayter, and Sheeta. The feud that literally because of injury just stopped. It was bad anyway. The Outcast thing was bad anyway. It was a lot of months of going nowhere. It seemed like it should have built up to a blood and guts match. It did not.
People thought it was going to too, which is the funny part. And I was like, you think they're gonna all right.
But yes, Social Outcast was a terrible thing. It feels bad for them because it looked like they were trying to make it work, but then it didn't work. To note, low key, I mean, Saraya is terrible, but it kind of also felt like Outward Powers didn't help anything for the situation.
Yeah.
And that's why it ultimately failed, and now all the girls are feuding with one another. So it is what it is.
The ladies are fighting, child.
Who's your worst feud of the year?
Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar is creative for himself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got next. Said Bray Wyatt.
I got next, y'all. Yeah.
Nope.
Next what? What you got next, brother? Just really weird section. We all remember, that period after Elimination Chamber. where Bray Wyatt comes out in the show and says, "Whoever beats this guy, I got him next." And then it just didn't happen. Like, nobody questioned this at all.
Bruh.
Just strange, just strange things going on in the world of WWE, especially as it pertains to one Brock Lesnar. But I think that ultimately, like, for as strange as that was, it led to a kind of cool Brock versus Omos match at WrestleMania, where Brock was just like pure babyface. But I think that there was a lot of food left on the table between Brock and Bray, and I, one of my biggest kind of like, I kind of strangely wanted to see what would have happened if they faced each other. Like that would have been really dope. I don't know.
Brock not with no. I'm not with no magician special shit. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no magician, eh?
Yeah, but crazy. Never happened. Unfortunately, never will. And yeah, it's a man. What a pick. My runner-up was the cousin of this thing, which was Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Because anything in its orbit ended up being terrible, apparently.
Yeah, everything in it. No, how about everything in its orbit ended up being terrible? And
it did not make sense. It ended right before WrestleMania. And literally, Brock went to wrestle Omos, and Lashley goes to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on the SmackDown before WrestleMania.
Bro, they had nothing for my guy, bro. Not even my guy. He's not even my guy. But they had nothing for that black man. All right.
Then they proceeded to take the next 5 months to figure out the creative for, like, let's put the Street Profits with him. That was that.
That's what was the cool. That's what they wanted to do, huh? They wanted the Street Profits to suffer for all of this, for Bray Wyatt's crimes against humanity. They wanted the Street Profits to suffer. So
long-term plans right there. What was your runner-up?
My runner up was, who am I at here? My runner up was MJF versus Adam Cole. Terrible feud. Terrible.
I agree.
Took up too much fucking time on their TV, which is important enough as it is, because no one gets over on their TV. Let's just be clear. Important enough as it is, because no one gets over on AEW television. But they decided, yes, we will have Adam Cole and MJF fucking hang out and just do weird shit for months. Like I don't know. Like I just look at that shit and I'm like, this was just how you make bad television. You know what I mean? Like this is how bad television is made. And
this is what people complained that DX was doing in the mid 2000s. Like,
yeah,
very like, this is the worst shit ever. These two old guys are taking up all the time on TV, and literally they're doing it on NXT. I mean, on AEW, and people are clapping their feet.
The boat skit, Roderick Strong being brought into it, all of that, like, just bad creative, bad piss poor creative. And I don't blame people for being into it. It's like it's pretty cool stuff. Like it's some of their faves getting to work together. But I think that for a feud that started with them talking about steroids, and remember that how it ended up at fucking at All Out or All In, whatever it was, how that ended was just perplexing to me. And it went on too long. I think it hurt MJF. Adam Cole was already irreparably damaged. It is still going on now. Yeah, you're right. But again, it's like, how has this helped any of them other than injuring them? Both of them injured now, and now ultimately you can't even have that blow off match until Adam Cole is healthy, or if he's not healthy, whatever you choose to believe. Whatever you choose to believe what's going on there happens. It can't happen until then.
The people said anything involving the Outcast, Braun versus Mello, Brock Lesnar versus Omos, Elite versus CM Punk Part 2. What? Tony Storm versus Sheeta, Adam Cole and MJF, Shotzi versus Bailey, Theory versus Cena, Swerve versus Paige, Ronda versus Shayna, MJF versus Double Group, Outcast versus Britt, Dijak versus Eddie Thorpe. Yes. Um, Roman versus LA Knight, Roderick Strong versus MJF, Eddie Thorpe versus Dijak, Roderick versus Adam Cole, Chris Jericho versus anybody, Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho, anything with the Outcast, AEW Pillars, Brock versus Bobby, AEW versus their women's division, Dana Brooke versus Cora Jade, and Shayna versus Ronda. So that is what the people said this year. Um, what's the next one?
The next one we're gonna do is worst pay per view of the year. I thought I filled this out. Go ahead. Shoot, what's your best one? Go ahead.
So my worst one was Crown Jewel. I just felt like I just was kind of between Roman Reigns, LA Knight.
It was a minor
Cody,
show.
Cody Rhodes versus Damian was cool, but you could have saw that on Raw. In fact, we probably did. Io versus Bianca Belair. Also, shout out to the return. Logan versus Ray. I mean, yeah, it was just a very regular ass show, to be honest with you.
I think I'll put. I think I actually might agree with you here. I thought that that was just a minor pay per view. I didn't really come out of it even having any takes for it. It was just like whatever.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, Elimination Chamber was very strong, but honestly, it's that and Stand and Deliver for me for this year. Crown Jewel and Stand and Deliver for me.
Okay.
I think that even if I didn't enjoy AEW pay per views, they at least always had like 2 or 3 matches that I actually like enjoyed.
My runner up was Wrestle Dream because why? Like, why was it so long?
Did you sit through that one?
Did I? I felt like I was watching something else while this was going on. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
FanDuel.
The people the people said AEW Double or Nothing, AEW All Out, NXT Stand and Deliver, Payback, All Out, Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door 2, Full Gear, All Out, Double or Nothing, Night of Champions, Grand Slam, All In, Double or Nothing, Fastlane, All Out, Stand and Deliver, Wrestle Dream, and Stand and Deliver.
Okay.
So maybe I was bugging.
Most memorable moment, I think we both put here, CM Punk returns to the WWE.
Yep.
We pretty much explained that at length in the past month. Sami Zayn's moment at Elimination Chamber was your runner-up, Meelz, and my runner-up was Cody Rhodes loses at WrestleMania 39.
Absolutely. Most memorable moment for the people: Sami Zayn hitting Roman Reigns with steel chair, Kevin and Sami being the Usos. 1, The Rock returns. 1, Bad Bunny entrance at Backlash. Personally, finally seeing a Cena match in person. Shout out to you. CM Punk returned to the WWE. Punk returned to the WWE. Bad Bunny at Backlash. Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns beating Cody. CM Punk returns. Punk returns. Punk returns. Roman versus Cody. Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns. Roman beating Cody. Sami and KO winning tag team titles. Backlash. Jey Uso. Brock Lesnar raising Cody Rhodes' hand. CM Punk leaves AEW. CM Punk comes home. CM Punk showing up Survivor Series. CM Punk's return. CM Punk's return. CM Punk's return.
There it is.
So yeah, people love CM Punk's return.
Most overrated.
Mine is LA Knight.
Yeah.
Y'all know why he's here. Ultimately, he's popping. I get it, but
I ain't never seen people say matches don't matter until LA Knight.
LA Knight has not impressed me in the ring, has not impressed me in the slightest, and I think there would probably be better people in his position currently that could benefit from whatever he's going through. Shout out to the people who got behind him. He has the aura, I get it, but just in the ring, it doesn't work.
Let's delete aura from the wrestling course from 2024.
Let's do that. Who is your winner?
Swerve Strickland. Need I say more? And I put this down 2 weeks ago. What was your runner up?
Jay White.
And mine was LA Knight.
Why Jay White
is overrated? Why Jay White overrated?
I haven't seen a lot of Jay White prior to this, but coming to AEW, I'm not impressed. to be honest with you. I'd seen some Jay White matches, but like seeing him full time, seeing him do his thing, I'm like, bro, what? This is not that. I don't know, whatever. That's why I just said, all right, whatever. He could have
Yeah,
been Intercontinental Champion. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. Um,
doing what he loves.
and
He's happy.
your your runner up was L.A. Knight. Um, the people said Swerve, Swerve,
Mm-hmm.
L.A. Knight,
Turn it
all
up.
in, all in. I guess they read it wrong. Los Angeles Afternoon was LA Knight. Kenny Omega. Is this moment or most overrated? Okay, Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega,
It could be
Cody
both.
Rhodes, Eddie Kingston, Jay White, Tozawa, Eddie Kingston, MJF, Cody, MJF, John Moxley. I think we know who the Cody people were. Shout out to Axe. If it was him. Biggest fumble. You just added this category.
Yeah, people won't have a choice for this one. I
No,
know, Meelz, you said Cesaro earlier.
I said Cesaro.
It's not even his name anymore, by the way.
That's okay. No one's known as Cesaro. His mama calls him Cesaro. So,
then the winner of mine was Miro.
ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's a
What
shot.
an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah. Oh man, you don't have a runner up here, but I'm gonna say
I can name one right now.
who?
Ricky Starks.
Wow, I don't
The
agree,
fact
but okay.
I think him having the moment he was having with Punk on Collision, and then immediately not having that moment anymore. People seem to be getting behind what was happening, and people seem to be really like interested in he having these matches. The development of Ricky Starks, at least, he may not be the best version of himself now, but I feel like the development of him was truly stunted by the Punk thing going awry, and then Bryan Danielson simply having that match and then just leaving him alone for time after that. And now he's in a tag team champion role. So I think he was fumbled in a sense.
Okay,
But again, we were figuring this out in real time. I'm sure if I had time, I could figure out a better one.
I'm gonna put Jay White for biggest fumble, and I think it's because he fumbled himself, not AEW. He fumbled his own bag. So Jay White,
This is true.
have fun over there. Have fun over there. I hope you like taking that Matt tan on Wednesday, by the way, because it will be you. It's gonna be you. It's no one else. You should even know. Looking at the poster for that match, you're gonna be like, "I'm taking the pin, aren't I?" And then Mox and Swerve are gonna look at you and say, "Yes."
That's absolutely what's happening. That's it.
Yes, it is. Listen, thank you guys for all the support this year, all the love, for buying the shirts, for listening to the shows, for joining us on Patreon, leaving comments, telling me when the audio is off on the Patreon comments so that I can go fix it. Hitting us up on Twitter, hitting us up on Instagram, hitting us up on YouTube. Every single thing you guys do for us and did for us in 2023, and just know that in 2024 we're coming harder. So we are you know we're always up leveling and going up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Meelz?
Absolutely. And shout out to, I think, a lot of things. A lot of these shirts were delivered. Yours is still in transit for whatever reason.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
it's maybe it's
crazy.
it said no. It says it's delivered. Huh.
Well, let me go check my
It's in
front
your
door.
mailbox right now. Yeah. No, it was delivered like maybe like 40 minutes ago. But thank you guys for definitely like purchasing. Keep purchasing the ashow.bigcartel.com. I gotta get these out of my house. So make sure we're out of 2X. We got 3X, we got XL, we got limited qualities of XL, large, and medium. So if you need, you better get it now. If you're gonna get it ever. And yeah, thanks for supporting. I'll tell you guys a story when we return. I'll tell you guys a story of what else was supposed to come in the package that I could not ship.
You were wilding for that. Anything could have happened with
I was
that.
thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I was like, I could have got arrested. But yes, I'll tell you guys the story next time on Patreon.
So for Meelz and for the rest of the A Show crew, we'll see you guys in 2024. Have a safe New Year's, and we'll be back here with you on the week of January 8th. So yeah, be safe, have fun, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.